Alright, what's up guys? Welcome to the ESDL. We're casting a game between Daikon Tactics and Team B. We don't have a name for them yet. I'm a Red Crayon and this is...
I'm EmpeachedLight, coach of Team Daikon Tactics.
I'm a co-caster, Shock, aka Sneaky94.
Alright.
Mostly known as Shock.
Y'all can go ahead and talk about the band, see what y'all think of that while I post all this.
Alright, so far we got Kali, a Kane, and a Renekton band, which makes a lot of sense. Mira on Team Daikon does play a lot of Kali, and Lupe says he one-tricked Renekton to plat, so I'm seeing things that make a lot of sense here.
I do like that Morgana band. Spell shot is very powerful nowadays, even last season. So Morgana will always be a very good band, depending, not even depending on any comp. Morgana will always be very annoying.
Absolutely, because especially with Team B, VO3R and Gucci both are, play a lot of Morgana. It's a pretty good flex pick for mid lane, very safe, so it's a good band.
I agree entirely with both of y'all. Have y'all talked about the brand yet?
No.
No, but Brand is actually very strong right now. His passive is really strong, especially with the ult connection. It can turn the whole fight around with just one simple ult with a combo.
We're seeing the Lutz ban out. Lutz did get nerfed recently, however, she's still a very powerful champion, can be run multiple ways, poke comp, after shock for the tankiness, just be impossible to kill in lane. She's a lot of ways you can run her, and we're seeing the Yasuo pick.
Yasuo pick is very interesting.
I don't see a lot of Yasuos.
It's because most of the Yasuos are banned these days. Like, there's a lot of Yasuo players around here.
That's true.
No.
Ooh.
That's new.
Sneaky, you're a Vayne main, aren't you?
I am indeed a Vayne man. I have nearly 1,000,000 points on my Vayne, so Vayne is very a tricky laner considering that she can easily be abused in the bot lane, but give her time to scale and she can turn into a complete monster and turn everything around.
How does she deal with Yasuo?
So basically Yasuo and Vayne 1v1, no minions. Vayne will always win just simply because Yasuo has no way to dash, but if Yasuo has the opportunity to dash into minions, of course he can win and just pretty much destroy Vayne, but of course Vayne will always have the outplay potential just simply with her ult, Q, and E.
Alright. Now, the interesting thing here is Vayne can actually flex pit into top lane. Right now she's being picked as the top lane, but it could go either.
That's true. Yasuo, same thing though. He could be top or mid.
Or ADC. You know, we have been seeing a lot.
Nico also can fit all three of those roles.
Correct.
Exactly. Nico has really turned into a very abusive top laner, especially against tanks.
I mean, Olaf can even go top. Like, or we could be seeing a faker pick down mid, you know. Why not, right?
Hey, anything's possible if you watch Fnatic's game. They just played Garen Yumi bot, so.
True. Ooh, the Vel'Koz. Once again, could be flex support or mid.
I like all these flex picks, honestly.
Right? It's so much variety. Hey, you know what? That might be a Mumu support. I've done it.
I mean, a Mumu mid's pretty strong right now.
And Mumu's top is too.
I have seen both.
I'm betting that's a Mumu in the jungle though.
I am too.
Don't rule it out from top though.
Alright, see the Varus ban now. It's pretty good counter to Vayne. He's an early game lane bully, so.
Early game scales pretty well. Lots of poke. And it's one of only 2 AE carries that have self peel in the form of their ult.
2? Who's the other one?
Very true.
Ashe. To be a pit tool or to be self peel.
So that's pretty much already a Vayne ADC simply because she did already ban out 2 of those hardcore ADC counters to her lane. Those are big bullies for Vayne, especially with both of their ranges. So that's definitely ADC Vayne I'm seeing right there. From what I'm seeing on the other side on Team Tactics, from that other Darius ban, that could possibly most likely be Yasuo top.
I'd agree with that. Yeah, Darius is pretty strong in the Yasuo in the top lane.
Honestly, I'm really liking the pick from Daikon here. I mean, you have a lot of combo potential with the Vel'Koz and a Mumu. So much damage right there, and then you have a Vayne. Like whenever Vel'Koz and Mumu don't follow up with the right combo, or they just don't get their power off, Vayne just comes in. Ooh, and the Nami. Oh yeah.
That's really safe, and Very, very utility based for the Vayne. I like that lane
On top of
very, very
that,
much.
I've seen Vaynes be extremely aggressive. I've played with aggressive Vaynes, and Nami fits into that playstyle as well. She can do whatever she wants. Great all
Absolutely, you
rounder.
can't trade a Nami early game.
Absolutely. Especially with those empowered attacks and the constant healing from Nami. It gives Vayne so much aggro.
I mean,
From start.
if nothing else, it helps Vayne get her 3 proc off easier because it keeps them within range.
All right,
Exactly.
that's
And most of the Vaynes are running press the attack nowadays, so that
Yep.
helps a lot.
A Sivir.
Alright, say with that Sivir pick, that's pretty much locks in Yasuo top, Nico mid. Looks like they're actually just picking an order, honestly.
Yeah,
So that
which
server can actually help the Olaf go push
Oh,
straight
absolutely.
to
If he
the
goes
Vayne or
Predator,
even the
Olaf,
Nami.
with
I
the
mean,
Sivir ult, he's gonna get on top of Vayne no matter what they do.
let's not forget though. Sivir ult with Nico walks in stealth and just pops her R. That's scary.
This is very true.
There are
Yeah.
2 millioners I hate to see. Nico and Zoe.
I
And
don't blame you.
Zoe can just one-shot you with an EQ. Nito can one-shot your entire team with an ult. It's that simple. And it happens constantly.
Shoot, based on their team, I definitely expect Nico to be going AP. She's their only real AP threat. Kled,
So I
though,
like
I
the
do
way
like Kled.
that Tactics did pick out their bot lane simply because Sivir can't just simply push out Vayne out of the lane and actually deny her a lot of CS with Wave pushing straight to her tower constantly. And then Braum can just instantly go in with the Nami.
Oof.
I'm curious to see if Brahm's going the what is it called? Where you can change your summoner spells.
Unsealed Spellbook?
Also spellbook, because he has TP right now. It doesn't look like he's gonna change it.
He could have spellbook indeed.
Up, he
Oh,
swapped it to ignite.
That might have been a visual collision.
That might have been.
The
most
spectating
likely
system
could
is
be.
so bad for that.
So, boys, who do you think has the biggest team fight? So far, I'm leaning towards
Ooh.
that Mumu with the Kled.
Mumu Kled, I agree. Kled's gets Mumu in there, but honestly, Sivir, Olaf, Nico is pretty gross.
I mean,
Plus, they have Braum ult with Yasuo ult.
exactly.
It's a big
This is very
combo.
true. Very
See,
true.
we're getting 2
It's
things here.
two big team fight teams right here.
Yep. We're forgetting about 2 things. Braum ult can be used to engage as a 5-man knockup for Yasuo, or it can completely just be a disengage ult. I mean, the
Very
slow that
true.
comes from the fissured round is huge. And the same to be said for Nami. Her ult will just disengage a fight entirely. Nito tries
Right,
to
but
go in,
it also depends if Braum uses his shield correctly and just stops the Nami ult.
or Yasuo. Yasuo and Well does the same thing.
Very true.
Yeah, these are really two big team fights. There's not a lot of poke. Like, you have some Nico, some from Vel'Koz, but I guess Sivir has poke.
It's a lot of commitment between these
Yeah,
two teams. There's no
both
poke.
teams are going
You
to be
either
all
go
in.
in or you don't go on.
The only advantage I'm seeing possibly is Kled has TP with Yasuo having Ignite, so Yasuo will probably win that lane, but Kled gets some good TPs off.
I mean,
You can
one
help
thing we
that
can
bot lane out.
the one thing we can really see is that Gled can actually look to split push really hard this game. He has TP advantage. He has his ult in order to get into a fight from across the map. Like so, if he draws Yasuo to a lane, then he can just run down to mid with his ult, or he can TP up top or to a Baron and make it a 4v5 instantly.
It's true. It takes a lot for Yasuo to cancel that TP. And if Nico's going AP, then she's not going to be that much of a split push threat with her being the only one with TP. Because
Exactly.
Kled should beat her every time.
We are forgetting that Momo can easily punish Yasuo for not having TP, and he can actually just camp top and abuse Yasuo for not having TP, and just actually put him behind on levels compared to the Kled.
See though,
Absolutely.
I want to say this: Nico is actually a really good pick here. In terms of AP, being AP, lots of damage with her teleport. But also, she's really hard to shut down. It's hard to change a Nico.
It's very true, but at the same token, don't be surprised if Nico and Yasuo do end up swapping lanes.
That's true. But my whole point with that is, if I'm looking at this team, I actually want to shut down the Nico more than anything. Because if you shut down Nico, they lose their AP damage, and you can just itemize almost purely against physical.
This is true.
But because Nico is so hard to gank, it's not going to be that easy to do. Right, and as we're moving into the game, we'll see what if they're gonna do any crazy invades or if they're just gonna stay in their general and farm normally.
Both teams do have potential on invades. Braum is disgusting early if he goes Q. Both mid laners with Glacial Augment, though.
It's a very, very good fair point that you put out there. Both mid laners are going to be trying to put into play not even aggressive, but mainly defensive, especially with the Vel'Koz pure poke.
Yeah, I think Vel'Koz is probably a little bit better with it because he does chew damage if he hits those 3 procs of his passive. So he doesn't necessarily need the extra damage from like Comet or Airy.
Exactly, and also the Glacial Augment gives him easier access to proc his passive.
It makes it way easier to hit that knockup.
Very true indeed.
Keeps him inside his ult and everything.
But same thing, you got Nico with Glacial Augment, and if she hits a 5-man ult, then that pretty much calls the team fight right there.
Feels like just a bunch of sitting in base so far.
That's how I like to start off my games.
Right? Sit in base, just not move.
Best way to pass time.
Alright, let's see how they set up
Everybody's
this
pretty
early
much
vision.
setting up to their normal locations on the top side and bot side.
And that was quick ward on the red side over in the river bush.
So we're definitely not seeing an invade because
Oh no, everyone's playing real safe.
not even that, but
Can relate to the jungle side.
you can't start an invade if you're that far behind. Both teams took way too long if they were looking to invade. If you're trying to invade, you go immediately.
It's true.
And then they would have gone to invade and had success would have been red side. They're all off was already late to the jungle side.
Yeah, it looks like Olaf's starting blue though, which might lead him into vertical jungling on the top side because
That's what I was thinking.
his clear on Raptors is extremely quick, and Amumu has a pretty slow first clear. So it would not be surprised me at all to see him do an invade. Plus, red side did not drop any wards, so they won't even know. Well, top side.
Right. Vertical jungling is something you don't see too often. Olaf's not starting the buff.
Yeah.
He's really delayed right here.
Yeah, he's pretty behind.
Blue buff is dead for Amumu. What if Olaf wants to go for this red buff, wants to do this vertical jungling, he's got to be faster than that.
I'm gonna say he's not.
Definitely.
If he does, Amumu's definitely gonna be meeting him over there.
So what I'm seeing right here is that Olaf wants to try and put the Yasuo ahead from that ping. He might be trying to do a lane gank on the top side after that Gromp.
Nice poke going on in mid lane though.
Oh sweet, we have a cast for each lane. That makes it so much easier.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, I'm a mid lane main, so just happened to look over there.
Overall, I think we're just gonna see a bunch of change for the first little bit because neither Sivir nor Vayne are really huge on it. Ooh, talk about trading.
Trade going on top lane though.
Yeah, that's not a trade. That's a
honestly.
skirmish.
Yeah.
It's a very that's a very good EQ by the Yasuo.
Alright, Olaf just went into his blue side jungle. Mumu looks like he might be coming up though.
Momo is gonna be roaming top. It looks like it. Yasuo does not have a ward.
Yasuo's pushed in. Has no ward. He's about to ward now. Now's the time. Oh, I see him try to check the bush right there with that Q.
I see Clegg going in late.
Yeah.
Good. He's gonna flash that wall. Yep.
If that had reacted immediately, that would have actually been a pretty free kill.
Exactly.
He still had a chance.
With his jungler, that could have been a first blood right there. Slow
I'd
reaction.
like to see a Mumu come back though.
So flash is down, so that's a free gank for Mumu, especially with the fact that Yasuo's already pushed in.
Good trade in the mid lane there.
That's exactly what I would see from the bot lane. So we're just constantly pushing the lane into the bot tower.
And because there's so many minions.
Going for double crab right now.
I mean, Olaf opted to do a full clear of his jungle. Every camp.
Yeah. Yeah, every camp. He also went Conquer, but with that full clear, he's still gonna be pretty much tied with the Mumu getting both crabs. So
Yep, they're
yeah,
both level 4.
same CS. So that was not. I don't think that was necessarily the best clear for Olaf, especially his is strong early game ganker with those
Especially when
axes.
Scuttle is very, very high priority nowadays, especially with the vision and the gold XP that it gives you.
Let's see. Olaf is 100 gold ahead of Amumu, but that's Amumu's doing other camp, so that's already been made up.
Mumu
Olaf
did
is
skip
betting.
over his Krugs though, which is the highest XP camp early.
Exactly. But then again, he did trade
Burn
that
the
for
Yasuo
Daikon
flash
Crosslight,
instead.
yeah.
So. Good.
Well, speaking
trade
of top,
There's no flash on Yasuo? Nope. Alright.
not to go for it. I don't think we're gonna be seeing too much early at all. Like every lane just seems to want to farm. Every fight we've seen has been top lane.
This is only week 2 for these this division playing right now. So this teams have not played against each other. They're probably just feeling each other out game 1.
That's fair.
Like none of the teams know each other right now.
Olaf's coming in, but Glad had it warded.
Ward by Glad.
It was a very nice sidestep.
Oh wow.
The ignite.
The Yasuo.
On a Kled under tower?
That was a premature ignite by the Yasuo, most definitely. He was already too close to tower. There's no reason for him to ignite him.
Plus it's a Kled. He's pretty strong
Exactly.
at getting back. Alright, let's see what we get here. Nico has no flash. That should be first blood right here.
Great Dane from Mumu.
I don't remember seeing when Nico's flash went down.
It's probably just trying to avoid a knockup from Valkaz.
That was good. Good first blood onto the Daikon jungler. Who hasn't backed yet, by the way.
Yeah, no, he's extremely strong right now.
He's going for his second Raptor clear. Amumu does have probably the best early game Raptor clear with his E.
I think the only one that even comes close, or the only people that come close, are like Shyvana and Rammus.
Rammus, I agree.
Oh, Hecarim. Hecarim's really good at it.
Still a little slow. It takes a little bit more mana for Hecarim.
That's true. We're seeing still less than 10 CS difference between Sivir and Vayne, considering how much Vayne is pushing the tower.
Yeah, Vayne has been under tower the whole game. That's can't spell shield, not attack Sivir.
That's a very premature spell shield.
Right,
ooh, teleport come in.
Teleport.
I definitely don't agree with that. They were not pushed in enough.
Let's say
If that ward had been in the second bush, I would have agreed with it.
Exactly. I would not have done it if it was on that bush. That's just too much reaction time for bot lane to just move out.
if nothing else,
Use TP.
if you're gonna try a TP to that bush, you have to wait for them to be in a fight. Ooh,
like
but we're seeing a big fight.
Oh, that was.
Oh, great bubble,
Wow.
great into ult.
Very
On the collapse. Got a double kill on the Vel'Koz. This should be a free dragon.
Very good collapse.
And a Cloud Drake.
Ooh, but
amazing
let's
to get away from.
fucking
Look at
up
that.
this Yasuo. So much damage. Hey, you shush me.
But we'll
It's a
collect
family
go for
stream,
it.
okay? Yeah, it should be
That's definitely
solo
go for
kill in
it.
the
That's
top
definitely a
lane.
solo kill.
Everything's coming up Daikon right now.
Yeah.
0 to
Yeah,
4,
not
got the Cloud
worried.
Drake.
Nearly a 2,000 gold lead in the 7 minutes, 8-minute mark.
And a lot of that right now is all in Valkaz. Though, actually, Amumu's even in gold with Valkaz. In fact, he's ahead.
Amu has been part of half of them, so.
It's from that CS. He's 10 CS up on Valkaz. Mid laners have been not been CSing well this game.
It's hard to CS when you're getting those kills.
So
You
what I
farm
like
minions
to
when you farm
point out
champions.
is definitely besides Sivir pushing constantly the lanes, Vayne is actually doing very well to CS besides her being pushed into a tower very, very constant.
I agree. We got another fight going on in top lane. Kled is just
Running.
alright,
Head
good
over
flash.
straight to Sivir. There's the flash. He
Mumu's
cannot-
here though.
he
Probably
cannot
couldn't get that
have
ward.
flash that.
Mumu has ult. They can do this very easily.
Oh,
Oh!
Yasuo doesn't
good
see it.
flash by Yasuo.
And the auto tap from Kled gets the kill.
Very good.
When we flashed ult, and I don't know if it was a prediction, but that was a great flash. That's all I can say about it.
That was a good flash by Yasuo. I don't know if he could have really played that much better.
How about not go in when you had vision of the Amumu?
Yeah, that's really the only way.
That's the only way I see it. You already see the Mumu coming in from the riverside, unless you're already tunneled to stay fighting the Kled, then that's the only reason I don't see him pulling off.
Almost coming in for a mid lane game too. The slow's on to Nito.
Mumu
Nito's.
is out jungling this Olaf from the very start. He has ganked nearly every
Ooh,
lane.
the Q
Olaf
lands,
hasn't.
and Nito's forced to flash. Valdos pops the ult, gets us a little bit of damage, but not the kill. Olaf.
Oh, there we go.
Nice Brommel.
That was a good roam from Braum. They don't need to force it.
Ooh, but even better ult from Nami coming in, saving the Valdos.
From the bot lane,
Double
definitely.
kill from Nami. That was a good return roam from the bot lane.
Unfortunately, Vayne didn't get assist off this, but she is gonna be here to push this tower. Nito has her ult, but
Plates right there. It could potentially be first tower with 4 mid lane.
they have the wave here.
They do have wave resetting for them. Amumu is roaming top to stop the Yasuo. I'm curious to see if they will dive the Nico with no flash. Here it is.
Yeah, they're doing it, and
There
it's
it is.
dead.
Nice stopwatch. I don't think it was necessary, but
Ace double is on yours eventually, so why not use
Yeah.
it to save all the damage? Ooh, did not did that final plate.
Oh, the Yasuo getting collapsed again. Nice wind wall. What was the Kled ult?
I don't know where that little was. Vayne lost. Vayne lost a lot of CS going for mid there.
Oh, are they gonna pay for it? They're gonna
that
pay for
was-
trying to collapse on the Nami.
See, this is where that team fight CC we were talking about champs luck comes.
Oh,
Return kill
but
by Olaf,
still, yes.
Honestly, that's pretty decent for him. I mean, that's a shutdown.
That's a very good shutdown. He just literally got 600 gold from that shutdown.
I mean, you hand over 600, you get back 600.
The only concern I do have is that Olaf is going pretty much full AD with the Berserker's Greaves. So that pretty much makes him really, really squishy.
Yeah, he has Warrior and Berserker's Greaves and Conqueror, so it's definitely a different style Olaf than I'm used to seeing.
You might be going for a full split push. But as a jungler, that's split push
here's
as a
Amumu
jungler is
top
awkward.
Once again.
And getting the ult this time.
Yasuo.
Yeah, they are shutting down this Yasuo. Honestly, both solo lanes. They're getting shut down pretty hard by Team B.
This Amumu has amazing pressure. He's all over the place. He hasn't been bot though. Bot's been pretty handy on their own.
Bot doesn't have to be bot lane.
Yeah, it's
They're
a
just pretty
Vayne
much
lane.
they're just going even.
Yeah, if she goes even, she wins the game. Though it is a Sivir, so we can't necessarily say that.
Sivir's one of those champions that
Nami again, the nice bubble, but
very.
wasn't there to follow up.
He does have his ult.
There comes that glacial augment. Slowing her down. She sat in the ult the whole time.
I like the amusement of not having the flashes on the enemy laners.
They're definitely working well together.
Being aggressive on that.
Ooh, we might be seeing a little bit of collapse here, but it'd be a 3v4 at best. Nope. They're just out of different throw child. Amumu picks it up. Usually not the best for let the jungler have it.
I'm curious to see if the Vayne will actually accept pressure on the Sivir 1v1. She has Cutlass. She has.
Yeah, look at items. She might honestly be able to do it. That was risky, going for the Rift Herald with Yasuo having Tornado up.
It's a little things like that to actually lose your lead. I mean,
oh, very nice kill on the Olaf. The Glacial Augment comes in handy again.
I mean, they did have to kill Olaf, but using Ritual there is a little bit questionable. I mean, they didn't have a wave to continue the push with.
It's
right, but they still
plates
got
fall off in 15 seconds. They needed to drop it as soon as possible, get that extra goal.
It, but they still got 2 plays off of that, so it's still worth. They got the plays just in time before they collapsed.
The questionable thing I'm looking at is Kled sitting in mid lane right now. Okay, yeah, so he had to burn TP when he was just up there. Otherwise, he was going to give Yasuo a plate. I feel like he could have just sat there with the Mumu and Vel'Koz as strong as they are. And Sivir was pushed under tower.
Red team going for another objective on the Mountain Drake.
Red team has gotten all the objectives so far, but we haven't seen the tower yet.
See, I want to go back to the plates thing. Yeah, they did get plates, yes, but with as fed as they are, as strong as their entire team is, they could honestly just use that Riptail to take multiple towers.
Correct. But it's never a bad thing to just use it for towers.
Oh, here comes Vayne.
Here's Vayne solo laning. I do question that tumble, but her team is very fed, so it helps her. I still question the tumble though.
Yeah, she tumbled right at him, but it worked out in the end.
It works out. Where
Good thing they were fed. That
gold led ulting top onto Yasuo.
Yeah, he's under tower.
Yeah,
and nice done.
He should definitely be out.
As long as he didn't ult back in. Oh, they're still fighting this. Kled has a level advantage.
It's a Zeal to Tiamat with Ninja Tabbies, so...
There's the flash. Oh, there it is.
I mean...
all members of Daikon right now having a bounty.
All of them very fed.
Team B has got to slow this game down if they want to have a chance to win it.
They definitely want to slow it down.
The
only thing they have working for themselves right now is they still have all of their first tier towers still up.
That's not going to be the case for much longer. All those first tier towers are all low. Or below half.
But what's their win condition right now?
It does look like Kled might be most likely getting first tower. And it does look like that.
Yep, that tower's gone. My tower's not too far behind either.
I'm surprised to see if they'll collapse on the Vayne with just being her by herself on the bot lane.
She does have her flash, and her ult is up now.
Sivir doesn't have ult.
That was very good condemn by the Vayne. Very good condemn. Stopping the engage, stopping her from dying.
Rom didn't have ult, but he did have his Q, and that slow would have sealed the deal. That's the thing. When you're going for a gank like that, you don't always need your bid engage abilities. You don't need a Malphite. You don't need a Brahmo. Just the slow can usually get you a lot out of it.
Not just that, also the Braum passive.
True, Braum's passive is really strong.
That's what I mean. Like, follow the Q, get the slow, and then you have the passive to follow up on.
I do like the vision that they have for bot side right now on Team B.
Very good.
Good flash. Glacial Augment got stopped by the minions.
That's a very good.
That was a good peel off.
I do like the.
Ooh, that's a lot of damage. Oh, that's a dead.
That's exactly what I was talking about with his build. He becomes really squishy from those deaths.
I mean, we haven't talked about much, but Amumu's passive with a Vel'Koz is massive.
I agree.
Converting 10% of all of his damage into true damage on top of his normal passive is huge. Speaking of, Kled is running down Yasuo.
Kled is not afraid of this Yasuo right now.
But
for misses the Q. He's already at 1.5 items.
Yeah, very much.
Once Kled gets ahead, buddy, there's no going back. There's no reason for you to be even close to him. You're just gonna go die. Like anytime Kled gets a lead, you're just gonna lose. Keep constantly dying.
There's a reason I banned Kled.
I would not be surprised to see Kled gone for this next game. Though they did ban 2 top laners this game that were not Kled, so...
It was very true. They did try to secure the top lane for the Yasuo.
Didn't you make a joke about them banning the Kled?
For the mid laner. Because Kled is the highest win rate mid laner right now. Because of his grievous or healing reduction on his Q.
60%, I believe. When we're looking for the... Oh, gets the Q... What was that hitbox?
That's pretty common. Not a lot of follow-up, though. The Mumu being alone, and he's He rushed a Thornmail, so. But like you said, Nico
Pretty sure
is
he
pretty
gets the
weak.
Abyssal Mask.
79 CS, 0-4, and a Mumu, and pretty much everyone is just building armor.
I mean, I also said that Nicho's not the easiest to gank, and she proved me wrong.
It's true. But we have 2 people with Ninja Tabbies and a Mumu with a Thornmail already, so.
Here we go, seeing the red team prepping up for Dragon once
Man.
more, and blue team just being unaware. Blue team just has no control.
Sitting in the Vel'Koz. Nice Namiel. Knocked up the Braum, keeping him inside the Vel'Koz ult. Giving enough time for that passive to pop and deal a lot of true damage.
I do like pointing this out, even though these teams have not been long with each other, they're playing really, really well with this red team. I like what I'm seeing from them.
Well, the red team have actually been playing League together for a little bit. They just joined the League this season, but they have all known each other for at least a year.
Okay.
So they joined the League together.
Okay. Well, it's
I
definitely showing. They have a
Yeah,
great synergy with each
definitely.
other.
It's definitely showing the synergy between all of them. There are a few mistakes that can be punished from each single one of them, but I do like what I'm seeing so far.
Oh, I agree. I'm going to be talking to all of them later about things I'm seeing.
So you can review the VOD with them.
Yep, there's... Olaf has another recurve bow. Wouldn't be surprised if that becomes a Wit's End, but...
Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it was a Bork.
I wouldn't be surprised if it's an item.
I would... Got me. I would really hope that it becomes a Wit's End. Just for the sake of the amount of...
I understand
move
that,
up.
but the same token, the way he's going with his masteries and the fact that he has Conquer, I will not be surprised if he stacks Conquer with the Bork and gets that extra healing.
Daikon just completely bet in front of
With
Team
5
B here.
people at Baron, they all backed.
Yeah.
Yes, they had a control warden there, but...
I mean...
That was easily, honestly, a very, very easy bait for Baron. They could have started it, baited out, get a kill, and then go back to Baron.
Yeah, I don't think they're respecting the amount of team fight potential that...
No, here comes the
also
play on
has.
engage. There goes the Olaf once more, being squishy.
Olaf had no ult.
Olaf's life and Nico's flash.
That's a free Baron. I mean,
That's
the jungle's dead.
Definitely free Baron. They have no contest on this Baron.
10,000
Silver's
gold
spot.
lead at 21 minutes.
I was about to point that
Jungle
out.
dead. Yeah.
10,000 gold lead. That
Good
is a
win
lot.
wall.
That was a really
What?
good
The
win
win wall
by
just
Yasuo.
blocked the Vel'Koz?
Yeah.
Yes. The
I did not know
Yasuo win wall
that.
does block the Vel'Koz W.
No, the E. The
knock up.
There's the Braum
knock
Yasuo
that
ult
up too.
combo, but I just think they're too far behind for that to work.
Ooh, Yasuo was unable to kill
That
the
was-
Nami even.
That was a good ult combo by the two of them, but
Ooh,
they're just too far
Nito.
behind.
Oh.
They're
And
just too behind to be fighting these. They need to slow
was
this
Team
down.
Daikon with-
10
I-
times fold.
But basically a delayed ace right there.
I want to point something out about that Vel'Koz Z being blocked. Vel'Koz is
So
past the win wall.
basically-
No, I understand that.
So, the way Vel'Koz E works is pretty much like a skill shot. He pretty much shoots the knockup up. So it makes sense that the Yasuo can block it with his win wall.
Oh no, I understand all that.
Interaction.
Projectile.
I understand all that. But Vel'Koz is standing past the E. That's what I was confused about. Or
He was in the win
He
wall.
was
I think
in the
that makes
middle
sense.
of it. He was in the middle of it, and it still takes effect when you're literally in the middle of win wall. So I'm not surprised that did take an effect.
Yep.
maybe I need to use my eyes check because he looked like he was past him. For me, I just
So
need
you
to.
need to check your eyes.
All right, fair. The temperature
they're
of
doing
the
now,
wind
having-
wall.
Kled is literally
Curious
just
to see
sitting
if
under
they'll
tower.
force a fight in the boss fight.
Just
Killing
didn't
Yasuo.
even lose Skarl. I do like that they're sending Kled up in top lane though.
He has his TP.
He doesn't. I don't think he's gonna need it.
He doesn't need to TP,
He's
but
strong
it's good
enough
to
right
keep
now.
him on top. Solo pushing that lane, getting more towers for the team.
Vayne is
Bot lane
walking up
pushing more.
melee.
Here's the engage. Good Braum shield.
Blocking
That
the
was-
They're
Nami
still
ult,
too
but
weak. They're just too weak.
And that was without the Amumu ult. Glad you
And
could have just hit that tower once. You didn't have to dash away.
that's a triple inhib down. I mean, that's the game, but
This is game.
That should be game right here.
I don't see this not ending right here.
they decide to beat him. That's the only way I say this not ending. Is they decide to beat him and run on fountain.
Indeed, but
Nope,
I don't
they
think they
close
will
it
do
out.
that. That's a very, very good game
Daikon
by
with
the
a
red team.
32-2 victory.
Yeah, no kidding.
A 17.5k gold lead. 24 minutes. Wow.
It makes sense to see the red team. Like I didn't even know that they had been knowing each other for a year. So it makes sense knowing that little fact that they had such good synergy with each other. The only thing is that blue team, like I said, what my statement was that they didn't know each other really reflects on them. Because obviously the red team have known each other for a whole year. That gives them so much plenty of time to work with each other. But blue team on the other side did not know how to operate with each other. They did not know how to synergize top lane, how to put Yasuo ahead with the ignite. They did not know how to synergize the Sivir with the Olaf, trying to just jump the vein with Olaf's ult and Sivir's ult. I was just simply could have collapsed on that.
All right,
Nico is just a safe lane from for Vel'Koz, stay away from the puck. I don't blame that at all, but they just not did not have the synergy for that team.
all right. Let's talk about something a little bit different. This is what I like to focus on. Sneaky, you know me, I'm a support main, so I like to focus on the vision a little bit.
Right.
I just want to talk about these little stats I'm seeing. Vel'Koz, Kled, Nico, none of them bought control words. Vayne bought one.
Yep.
Very interesting.
Like, vision is just so key. Like, the fact is, after a certain
When
point,
you're ahead, even when you're ahead, you still
especially
want to
when you're
have
ahead,
vision. Yeah, exactly. Even when you're ahead, you still want to know where they are so you can punish them even more. So you know exactly where they are, move towards them, and then collapse on them, catch them out even more, set them more behind. Don't let them catch up. Vision is always your best friend when you're behind or even ahead.
on top of that, wards placed, just general wards placed. Olaf had the least for his team. As the jungler, that should never be the case.
That should never be the case. Jungler, in my opinion, jungler should have the second highest vision score because jungler should have a sweeper as well with the support. So, in my opinion, support should be number one with the vision score and then jungler. Because the jungler always wants to have vision of the enemy jungler and especially destroy the ward so he can have a free path to gank the lane.
I mean, even going a little bit further, junglers didn't even have the most because supports don't get their wards until at least roughly around 10 minutes. For the first 10 minutes, junglers should be already have their sweepers out.
Exactly. That's a very good point. Actually, junglers can have the sweepers as soon as the first back. Believe
Is
it or
that
not.
You
exactly?
can have a sweeper before you take your first buff. It's honestly a thing that people do a lot. You go drop your ward back immediately and run to your first buff with a sweeper.
Olaf did a sweeper, so that's probably why his wards placed were so low, because he did destroy Sid, so he probably grabbed the sweeper pretty early. So you know what? I'll give him a complete pass on that. Honestly, great job. You destroyed the most wards on your team, more than support. And you placed two control wards yourself, so you know what? Good job on that. But I still want to talk about the control wards not even placed by the mid laners and the top. I mean, how many times did Olaf
So,
gank?
very true point, but the same token, keep in mind that top lane was pretty much nothing but skirmishes.
No, that's what
Literally
I'm,
nothing but
that's
skirmishes. I do know exactly what you're saying. Like, you're gonna be fighting so much. Put down a control ward so you can go in and out. Skirmish and then out because you see the jungler coming. But in this certain case, I can already see it. Me being put into their shoes. They were just tunneling for the skirmishes. There was no way they were gonna buy control wards when they know they were just gonna continuously keep fighting. So that's why the junglers always had an easy lane to the top.
I understand. Doesn't mean I have to like it. All right. So actionable advice for blue team. Light, you're already taught to red team about everything they did right and wrong in that match.
Absolutely.
But what's our advice to blue team? What's going on that team?
Biggest things, I think early, Olaf needed to gank sooner. Like we were saying, if he
Sooner?
was
You
late to,
mean,
well, he was late to getting to the buff. Like he left base a little bit late. He
and when he
started
started,
blue buff a little bit late. Had he got there sooner, taken blue, he could have easily invaded and taken some of that CS away from Mumu on his red side jungle.
it's like
Not
Moon
even
was
that, he could have
fairly
Or
easy to
level
he
invade.
could
2
have
ganks
also
top
had
lane.
the first gank on top side.
I
Exactly.
agree. Either of those two options, I think, would have helped a lot because there was just a huge snowball off of Mumu getting that first gank in top lane, blowing Yasuo's flash, and then coming back.
All right, I want to ask a question, and with this question, I want to premise Olaf has the only kills for his team. I want to premise this with Olaf as the only kills for his team.
I mean, he did build the most damage.
But I want to premise that with this question.
Okay.
When did he gank? Like, I want y'all, because I'm trying to think about it. I'm trying to remember when he ganked.
So the few times, you know what? I can't even remember when he actually ganked. I can only remember when they actually tried to catch out some of them and their jungler. Like for example, the Nami, and
Yes,
then they
yes.
actually got counter ganked. Well, Amumu and Vel'Koz actually reacted faster, but Olaf still ended up trading the Vel'Koz kill to himself. So that's the only thing that I actually truly fruition remember about the Olaf kills.
Exactly. That's
Besides
why I
the
wanted to bring
on
up.
travel to mid.
That's exactly what I was trying to bring up. I believe that all the kills for Team B, for the blue team, were from skirmishes. I don't remember Olaf ganking, despite being the more heavy early game jungler compared to Mumu. He did,
I think the only times he really ganked was with the Braum, like roaming up to mid lane.
which was counter ganked
And
by.
then he did do one gank in top early that when Yasuo early ignited the Cloud Under tower.
Yep.
But other than that, it was pretty much with Braum.
What I would have liked to see from Team B was take more advantage, especially of the Olaf and the Sivir combo. I've said it from the very start that you could have actually had the Sivir ult you, aka the Braum. I mean, Olaf. You can have Sivir Olaf and just let him run face straight into the vein. I mean that was really good synergy. I like that from Champ Select, but they just did not abuse the vein enough.
I
I
Like
agree.
Silver already pushes Vayne to tower. I don't like. I wanted to see more out of the jungler and bot synergy that they already had from Champ Select, but I just saw no execution from that.
and I want. There's two things about that. First off, as we've already discussed, red team have more synergy. They've been playing together. Chances are, blue team just met, so they don't really have that type of synergy. They've talked about that synergy, but they don't have the actual play synergy.
It's
But
very true.
I agree.
the fact is, they easily could have done a Braum and Olaf roaming around together a lot more than they did. Sivir, as a ADC, is able to push waves really easily, and she doesn't really need much help. Like, the only actual CC in the lane that would get her caught out is the Nami bubble and the Nami ult, both of which she can dodge or negate with her spell shield. So she could have honestly she could have been lane by herself for most of it, and Braum could have been just ganking mid over and over.
It's a very good point. A very good thought.
All right,
I agree. Another thing with them having that much priority and seeming like they were going to play around bot lane, Olaf definitely should have been. I like that he started blue side to be around bot, but they should have had a lot more vision control just around dragon and those objectives.
I just still definitely question the Olaf build masteries chosen. Like if you would have gone that path, I just wish you would have ganked more to put yourself ahead with those type of masteries.
or
There's no
at least
reason.
fought the jungle.
Exactly. There's just no reason for you to just sit in your jungle and just farm your whole jungle camps.
All
You
right,
should have
I'm gonna
at least
interrupt you.
definitely ganked somebody.
Light, can you just end the next game, please?
Huh?
Can you just end the next game, please?
Yeah. So I do I have you guys? I have shock.
You have both of us.
Yeah. Should I do it? I did add you, didn't I?
Yep. Before we continue even more about talking, before we talk about anything else, let's actually get into the next lobby.
Yeah, I've already been sitting here. So.
It's very true.
They've been kind of sitting here waiting for a second, so
I blame you.
that's fine.
All right, so advice to blue team: play more around the synergies you instructed in the pick ban phase. Play more around those. Honestly,
Solo lane vision.
Honestly, my best advice to the blue team is pick simple champions. Pick simple, easy champions that you know you can have simple synergy with each other. Don't try to do these high elo picks or high risk reward champions. Just pick some champions that have low risk, high reward. You know, Sivir was a good pick. I like that, but Olaf is kind of like high risk, high reward type of player. Like especially the way he built that. I would like to see more safe picks from the blue side.
All right, they're asking if we're ready. Yeah, I can definitely agree with that. I mean, they didn't pick too difficult other than, like I said, Yasuo and Olaf, I think. Because Nico and
Yasuo
Sivir are
definitely
both.
requires a lot of synergy. Besides the Braum, I did not see a lot of synergy for that Yasuo. You know,
honestly, y'all were both touching on the most actionable piece of advice we can give them. Scrim together, play together, do norms together, play together until you'll actually learn about each other.
I'm curious to see how they do later in the split.
I mean, Shock, you're on my team. You know better than anything. When we first all got together, we had no synergy with each other.
most
Yeah, I saw that
definitely,
yesterday.
most definitely, we had no synergy from the very start. But once we started working with each other, playing games with each other, getting to know each other's
All right, so
play
there's that
style and
Mumu ban.
everything, we actually got everything together. We actually started working together, have our synergy together with top, bot, mid, even jungler. Besides him not being actual jungler, we still have our synergy, and that's literally our advice to the B team. Just literally start working from with each other from this point on.
And that's really the biggest advice you can give any team in ESDL. When you really start to actually play with each other and you start to make a team play instead of solo queue, it becomes so much better. And it becomes more fun too. And we're
It
seeing the
becomes more
Vel'Koz
fun.
ban too.
Yeah, as I say, I like this talk about
The
all the
mobile
ESDL,
and
but
the
we have a game here,
Vel'Koz.
guys. So if you notice, they've banned.
They stick
Booster.
with the same vans.
Yeah,
guys.
Daikon took the same bans, but Team B over here has banned the Amumu and Vel'Koz already. So
I mean, they
do
saw what
not
I was
want to see those
capable of.
champions again.
I won't be surprised if they ban the Clud right here.
I agree.
I mean, if I'm Dunker, I definitely don't want to see the Yasuo ever
There's
again.
the Kled.
Or,
Not
Yep.
yep.
surprised.
That
Wow.
Kled had his way with him. He does not want to see that champion again. And I'm with him. I don't want to see that champion.
Yeah. All right, it's
Very,
Daikon
very
first big
interesting.
Yasuo this time.
Ooh,
Alright.
that's a troll out.
I agree. Darius, the one they banned because they didn't want to counter the Yasuo last game. Are they going to pick it for the counter? Or is Yasuo going to go somewhere other than top? I guess we don't even know that yet.
That's true. Like last time we saw that they flexed their pits around a bit. They pitched for the bot lane before.
I agree. I think I know where it's going, only because it's my team, but I'm going to wait and see. I'm not going to say anything.
I mean, go ahead and say
No
something
surprises.
for us, the casters.
I'm
No surprises.
I'm betting Yasuo's picks for the ADC right now. I'm betting.
Really?
Absolutely. That is my prediction right now.
Okay.
Knowing who they play, I bet Yasuo goes bot.
Okay. All right.
Hopefully, this stream's delayed a little bit, right?
Oh yeah, and even so, most of the players don't.
Silas, all right.
That could be flex mid or jungle. Could even go top, but we always see the Darius, so.
I'm betting Darius goes top.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That Darius support is, it's something.
I mean, I don't know if you've played against Darius swaying bot lane, but it's pretty disgusting.
Silas ADC.
Imperial buff, man.
You got me.
Imperial buff
let's
is
see
just
the
too
full
much.
Imperial. Where's the Swain Katarina? Sejuani, all right. Very safe, very strong. Has a knockup for Yasuo, though.
That's very true.
I mean,
But only a
Sejuani
one-man
has a.
knockup, so.
Sejuani has. Well, her Q hits lots of multiple people if they are all immediately next to each other.
Yeah, that's fair.
2 hyper
Akali
carries already on the
and
tactics team.
both flex picks.
I don't want to either way.
Yeah, they're kind of sticking with the theme of Team B last game, not giving anything away in the first round.
I mean, that's a very smart play. It means that you can't really. What happens a lot with team play is you try to like look at who's already picked and you try to target ban what's left. But when there's flets around like this, you don't know. You can't target ban anybody.
True. All right, so
Very
looking
true.
at it, I'm betting that Silas is in the jungle because I don't think they're playing Ziggs ADC. Looks like Team B might just be picking an order again.
You know what? I wouldn't be surprised if they do play the 6 ADC. But the same token, it just goes against the word that I just put out. They're not playing safe picks that like high risk, low reward type thing.
True.
I mean,
Where's
Darius
the
and
ladder
Silas are
going now?
exactly that, though.
Darius is very simple champion. I do agree with that. 6 is also very simple champion. He just has a lot of poke. He can poke and clear from afar. The only thing is the Silas. Silas requires a lot of synergy with your team trying to get the right ult against them.
He
The
does have
Varus.
2 gold ults to pick right now, though. Yeah, they
Alright.
banned Varus again.
All right, I just want to. If this really is Yasuo ADC, Vars wouldn't be an issue.
I agree.
His
But I might be
ult
wrong.
is.
It could be Yasuo top still.
They
Or
banned
you also
Konami.
mid.
They banned 4
That's
out
true.
of the 5 champions from last game.
Wow. But they left the Vayne up, and
I guess they didn't really feel the pressure from the Vayne.
DZ is a Vayne main.
They didn't really
So-
feel the pressure from the Vayne last time. Zacian bans coming out from Daikon. Down to the letter, but ooh,
Alright. I like
Here.
Nautilus, another safe, easy champion. I think
do
they
like
might have
the
heard you
Nautilus pick.
between games.
I mean, what I like about this is that it's locked down.
They have
Like-
a lot of
Exactly.
lockdown with a Ziggs. That's a lot of damage. There's Renekton.
Oh,
okay.
there it
I'm
is.
betting that's Yasuo ADC.
ADC. He called it out, boys.
What's good though with Janna? All right. Yep.
There's Qiyana. There's Alistar.
We're
I like the
seeing a
Janna
lot,
pick. They have a lot of engage. That's a nice disengage champion.
and it's not easy
Bit
to
of
poke out
Silas.
Yasuo either.
Oh no, especially with a Janna, just keeping him safe.
It's like Yasuo
They
ADC is one of the most
taken
annoying things to go up against, in my opinion.
And right now, he
Especially
just
the
he just
Yasuo
grabbed
is good.
exhaust too on DZ. Curious to see if he stays with that. Wait, it might be Ziggs ADC.
It might be his ADC.
I think it's
Okay.
Ziggs
They
Nautilus
heard me.
bot.
Well-
I think they swapped it.
Oh no, it could be Silas ADC. It's probably his ADC, but it could be Silas.
Wait.
Oh no,
Wait.
What just happened?
I think that last pick was
That
probably a.
hacker might have been wrong.
I think that might have been either like a AFK pick, last second panic.
Maybe. That was an accident.
So the Hecarim was a bet. It was an accident pick.
Okay. Meant to pick Jinx. Same as last, but we need Jinx spot. Alright, that makes a lot more sense. I was getting hyped for Ziggs ADC though, I'm not gonna
Right?
lie.
I was getting hyped as well. I mean, I was calling it out. I was like, damn, both casters call out something. They can. I almost felt proud of myself. I called something out that actually happened.
So we wanted to see that. That would have been so nice.
Mm-hmm.
Luckily, this won't take too long because they already know what they want. And the fact is, Daikon's pits and bans don't change regardless of whether they know it's changed.
Correct. Honestly, Yasuo I think is still pretty strong into Jinx.
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean,
If
when
he
while the
dodges
ult,
the chompers,
For
then
sure. Jinx just has zero mobility.
but he does or she does have that Nautilus there to protect her. So
It is very true. The Nautilus has a lot of CC for the Yasuo. It
But-
can be very annoying for him.
Qiyana is one of the great pits in the Nautilus, just completely negate half his kit.
that's true. If he goes in, she just pushes him away.
She just has to hit Q. I mean,
And
it's same
if
with
she
Leona.
Tornadoes, Yasuo throws a wind wall and he takes pretty much no damage. Honestly, he could just throw a wind wall at the hook and it doesn't even happen. So
I mean, if I'm not mistaken, Yasuo ult negates most forms of CC, right? If it hits mid his ult. If his ult's
I'm not a
already.
Yasuo player.
Alright, well,
I don't think you can stop him while he's on his way there.
You
alright.
cannot. You can't stop him while he's already ulted. So
Yeah.
yes and no.
Alright, so.
If you stop him before he presses R, of course you can stop him. But during the animation of his ult, you cannot stop him.
Alright, so something we can actually be seeing here is Janna knocks up both of them while Nala's ult is coming towards Yasuo. And Yasuo just uses his ult to dodge Nala's ult.
The only way, just a fun fact, the only way to actually cancel out Yasuo's ult is actually GP Orange. That cancels out his whole animation and damage.
I miss the days back when you did QSS that ult.
That was long before I started playing this game.
Those were the good days. I mean, I miss the
Make us
days
feel
of
old.
AP Tristana.
You make us feel old.
I literally started playing this game beginning of season 7. So
Oh
Season
lord.
7.
Jeez.
You're a
absolutely,
youngster.
I mean, maybe, but I can
You're
play on
just
your
a little
team.
baby
So.
compared to us.
So you say that, but I'm good enough to play on your guys' team. So
This is
what's
very
that say?
true.
Took you
This is
guys
very true, but
that much
still.
longer to just get about the same level. So
What the frick you mean? I'm calling you out right now. I don't care about ranked.
1v1 Blitzcrank only.
Let's do it.
What? 3-way? 1v1?
1v1. I'm in. Let's go. Who needs to cast this game? We already know Team B's gonna win.
Right, Team B's got this. I mean, they got the Jinx Nala's combo.
I'm feeling it. I like their team comp. I like I feel like they're gonna come back for redemption. I know Daikon's my team, but I think Team B is not gonna let them dumpster him like they did last game.
It just depends how the Silas works out, because last game he just did not impress me, and it was just a very disappointing game for him. So it just
Fan of Silas.
depends how Silas does come back.
Hopefully, it's a lot more aggressive as him now. Because he has actual CC now. So hopefully, he feels more comfortable ganking. Because last game, he didn't do much of it. In fact, any of
In
it.
fact, In fact, he just wanted to pretty much just farm. And that's pretty much what he put himself behind, because they just let Amumu just gank the lanes freely.
Amumu got ahead of that because Amumu wasn't just ganking. He was farming even with the Olaf, who was only farming.
And also, even though Olaf was just farming, he still didn't even get one scuttle in the very beginning.
True, he went for a full clear of his side and ended with the same CS as Amumu, who hadn't taken his Gromp or his Krugs yet. So
And he still put out 2 ganks.
exactly, burned
Got bad mid.
Yasuo Flash. I don't think he burned Nico Flash during that first gank, but though we say that, but Sejuani also a lot of early game gank pressure. She is the tankiest jungler you can be pre-6, so
Very
her
true, but
passive
it's
is
also, if
insane.
the Silas does end up impressing and coming with a vengeance, he can actually use the Sejuani ult against them to be more stronger for his team.
I mean, look, we're not talking about one thing, though. Sejuani actually has amazing synergy ganking any lane here. Because they're all melees. So they're gonna proc that the permafrost that much faster.
This is a very good point.
It's gonna make Sejuani dating for Sejuani a breeze. She can go anywhere she wants. She's not gonna be too worried about Silas. Silas will beat her in a 1v1 overall, but
You know what? With this fact that you just put into my vision, you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if Sejuani does an early gank to any lane. Depending on where she starts, red or blue, I would not be surprised if she goes straight to the lane and gank.
I mean,
I would agree.
especially bot and top is just gonna be free dates with the Renekton proccing the permafrost with like one auto W.
Yep.
Max Fury stacks on his W. Very
But you
true.
got to think about it the other way though too, guys. So we have Team Daikon, it's all melee other than Janna. Team B has a Darius Nautilus front line for Ziggs and Jinx to keep poking from the back.
And they have Silas to assassinate someone if they need be.
Yeah, so like the team fight can be on the right there for Team B as well.
And let's not
Right,
forget,
but also they do have an Akali who's a better assassin than the Silas.
that's true.
So
Is
she
she really a better assassin than Silas if Silas takes her ult?
She is, regardless, because she still has her
She
shroud.
doesn't. True, but she doesn't have the CC or the shield that Silas gets.
I think we're all
I guess
forgetting one thing.
it is just an AP shield though.
We're forgetting one thing.
Hmm.
The Nautilus with Silas. If Silas stays Yasuo,
True, that can be a good
Very
knockup.
true. Very
Nautilus
true.
does a lot.
we've been
And
talking
Darius
about
Bull also is considered knockup.
we've been talking about the fact that Yasuo can ult off Janna knockups, but Silas can do the same thing once he takes Yasuo's ult. So these trades can be massive. They can turn around at any moment.
So, out of all this talk between Silas potentially having all these ults still, it just comes down to execution. It just comes down to his retribution if he wants to come out with a vengeance, or are we going to see the same player we saw last game?
One thing to bring up. You mentioned it earlier. Darius, Nautilus, even Jinx, Zed's are all pretty simple champions. They're very straightforward. You know what they want to do. But Silas isn't simple.
Indeed.
How he plays changes entirely based on whose ult he has and whether or not he's ahead or behind.
And to be changing from Olaf to Silas is a very huge skill gap.
Now you can see them already pinging out where they want to go stand.
Wait, what?
You see Blue's team right here already pinging out the vision that they want to go get.
That's not good for me because I'm not loaded in.
Well, sir, you need to get a better
You
computer.
need to hurry up.
I am recording, streaming, and watching. Excuse me.
Excuse yourself, indeed. So
I did say
Silas
excuse
is
me.
going to be starting the red side.
All right, just check.
Let me
What
make
time
sure
step are
I'm
we
seeing
at?
this good quickly.
We are at 40
40
seconds.
seconds.
Say that one more time.
40 seconds. 45 now.
So 40, 50.
We're at 52, 53, counting.
What? Just puts up the mat speed. Okay, I'm with y'all now.
Okay. Well, you missed a whole lot. You got 2 wards placed.
Ooh. See, those 2 wars could be game maker. Maybe they
What?
catch a Gentler off because of this. 3 wards have been placed.
Yep.
Red team has
I
superior
missed the red
vision.
ward in the. Look at that. They're already getting those wards placed stats that you were looking at earlier. They were listening.
I mean, maybe red team gets a couple picks off on Sejuani here because of all this vision.
It's possible. But if you notice again, Sejuani's done with red buff, and Silas still has 600 health.
That's
Though, that's a good leash from the Yasuo too, because it helps proc her E.
I mean, on top of that, that's mostly the difference between a bot lane and top lane tank or leash.
On top
I
of that,
agree.
the amount of
Absolutely.
health that they have difference from both. I lost my words.
I agree. I expect Silas to, see, he's back up after he took Krugs because he started with the Hunter's Talisman. So, or not Krugs, Raptors. Excuse me.
So what do y'all think between the matchup between a Darius and a Renekton?
As someone whose highest mastery champion is Darius, that's an easy matchup, especially since he went Ignite and Renekton went TP. But if we see the same thing we did last game of jungle pressure from Team Daikon going to top, that's gonna hurt not having TP on Darius.
Alright.
But just straight up 1v1, Darius should win that every time.
Okay.
So I agree on you, but there's still a chance that Renekton still has the counter ability on the Darius. So simply because he can dash in, W Max Fury, jump out, just like we seen it right there, and he
just
can
like
just
that,
come
yeah.
out. Exactly.
Darius
That's the only
was-
reason he still has the counter potential to that. So I agree on you partially. If they go straight head to head to the 1v1, Darius will win. But if Renekton plays the counter ability like he did right there, he's gonna win that matchup.
That was just good utilization of Renekton being level 3, Darius level 2. He knew Darius didn't have his pull yet. Couldn't counter.
Oh, seeing a little bit of
going
trading.
for
Don't. Okay. Nope. Never mind.
Look at Akali eing towards the Ziggs to trade with that Q.
So you see the confidence in Akali just going straight to Sig's face.
Mm-hmm.
On top of that, you see that Six is already almost pretty much He's not conserving his mana. He's not letting the wave push through
Ooh.
him.
Oh my god, that's so much damage. Darius is nearly dead. That was one combo.
Yeah, that was. I also played off it from the other one because he had gotten him
Are we
already
gonna see
kind
a
of low.
day?
And
There's a dive.
Wow.
So we have 2 flashes. We got Renekton flash and 6 flash in the mid lane.
Alright, now Sue's going on mid lane. He's too busy watching that Renekton kill.
Silas found the Sejuani in the jungle, knocking her up. Lots of damage coming out.
Yeah, that's
coming in.
close.
There's another flash. But
Nautilus is right there.
But
Look at Janna though.
John just
Oh.
Sejuani's still. Oh, there goes the Nautilus.
James is coming in behind.
Silas is. I think Yasuo's got him. He keeps canceling autos though.
And James is caught out with 3 people. Or
Jinx is
not.
out.
Yeah.
If she dies, she won't die.
I think she should be out.
Well,
Or-
wait, the NATO,
That was a
NATO,
Good tornado, good slow.
the vision for Yasuo E. Oh, they
Nope.
let her go.
Yep, no, they're not
They
that
let her
anything.
go. It's good. It's good. Don't risk it. You already got a lot from those 2.
That was a good play by Silas. Nice zap.
So I do like the Silas is stepping it up a little bit, but you know they forced it a little too much. They should have just settled with the Sejuani flash, and then bot lane should have just returned to the lane. They forced it too much, and they paid for the price.
Well, now this couldn't return to the lane. He was followed immediately by Janna and
I
Yasuo.
agree. He had to walk up to the jungle. It was pretty much just them. They were guaranteed to return a kill. Nice win wall.
And Nollis had to like flash and ignite Sejuani to even get that kill.
I do want to point out that Renekton already has a team map.
True. He has a 15 CS advantage with a nice wave. And Darius is pushed into him. Renekton just at 6. He can ult right now and finish it.
Darius
There's a
forced the
good
flash.
Good. It was a good flash.
This is
Renekton
what
should
I
have
was
waited a
talking about,
second for
boys.
that dash.
Renekton still counters with Darius.
Silas is walking up here, but he's level 4 compared to Renekton's level 2. Renekton
And
can
Darius
2v1
level
this.
5. Renekton 2v1s is easy with ult. He's too far ahead for that. Yep, there it is.
Oh, buddy.
Just
Wow.
melting Silas,
Hey,
but
that was
the
good
ignite.
He didn't get as much of a heal as he should have. Darius had a good ignite there.
Oh,
Mm.
nice Q to heal.
Sejuani's here, Zid's TPing in.
And
There's
Akali.
gonna be kills for Kali.
Are they gonna let Darius out?
No, they're not.
Nope, there it is.
Good lord, such
They're
a
gonna give it-
massive play.
Oh no, double kill for Renekton. That's massive for Renekton already.
Wow, that's
Since he already has to lead, that's
3-0.
just gonna be huge for him.
28 CS advantage at 6.5 minutes with 3 kills. Yeah, I take back what I said about Darius beating Renekton. Yeah.
They had to prove you wrong, man.
It's just about experience. I see this lane a lot. Renekton will always counter Darius for that exact same reason.
Nope, I think I need to play my Darius against my top lane is Renekton just to see if it's true.
Somebody's ego's getting crushed, maybe?
I don't want to get a big head. They're gonna find the team that's gonna destroy him. So
Well, if you want to get a big head, there is the skin, Draven.
I'm telling you, perfect
Bard,
bot
Bard.
lane. It's Draven with Bard.
Ooh. John is poking down the...
That Janna poke with the NATO. There's a lot of poke on the support. They have priority lane on the bot side. There it is. I was gonna say they have the potential to go for that dragon.
See, I want to talk about Janna real quick. Because this is how you play Janna. This right here, walking up, poking the heck out of Nollis, taking him to like right be above half. That's how you play Janna. You don't sit back behind your ADC under tower. When you're
Very true. A lot of people actually underestimate the Janna poke damage. They
So I
know
just
she
wanna-
has poke, but there's a lot of damage coming from
Another
the
big
Janna.
Speaking of
Stop.
damage,
Yeah, another big trade. Might be another kill.
yep. But Renekton did not have his E or his flash.
Yep. He does have ult up now. So yeah, speaking of the Janna damage, I don't know if you guys have looked at her items yet, but
That's pretty
sit on
standard.
Dark Seal.
She already has Dark Seal.
She's real confident.
I do like though that Jinx is keeping up with CS with the Yasuo. I do like that, but still.
Yasuo's about to hit sits. Renekton's protzing this wave. That's how far ahead he is. That's how confident he is.
Well, to be fair, Renekton almost has a 50 CS lead on that Darius.
That's true. Since last time we've mentioned CS, Darius is stats an 8.
Wow. Yeah, it was what 48 to 20. Now it's 75 to 29. Renekton is
Ooh,
the ult.
diving under
using-
tower.
Ooh,
again.
there's another kill. Just
Meanwhile-
the Renekton.
Meanwhile, Sejuani is getting Ocean Drake with Yasuo.
Oh, here's the Six ult. Ooh,
Nice.
I
Stealing
like
it.
that. I
What
like
an ult
that.
from Ziggs.
I like that a
And
lot.
Ocean honestly is gonna help a lot. And
That helps a lot mid,
That helps.
definitely. Ziggs regain mana, it helps him. Oh,
Ooh,
here's the
Znallis
engage
goes
on
in.
bot side.
that ult.
Engage on bot side.
It says ult.
Oh,
the
nice
wind wall.
wind wall.
That was a beautiful
Nice
wind wall.
Are they gonna return on him?
Oh,
Going back for Jana. Yas. Wait. Jana has heal.
Oh, I see. Oh, there's the flash.
And the
Oh,
double.
what the?
Wow.
Oh.
Nice.
That
That was
that
really
was
good
a
outplayed by
beautiful
bot lane, though.
engage by Nautilus, but wow, that was a good
It
fight.
was still it was a good engage for Nautilus, but still in the end it was still a good counter engage for Qiyana.
Jana's too strong.
I mean,
Jana
Jana
is
did
really
exactly
good.
what you do in that matchup. She used her tornado the second she got hooked.
I agree. It was a beautiful wind wall by Nasuo, and then the
This is why she's the
tornado
queen of
ult by
disengage,
Jana.
guys.
Just,
She is the queen of disengage.
I agree.
Top all off, Jinx did the little stutter walking that you do when you misclick repeatedly. You try to click on an enemy champion.
That she was autoing behind the wind wall again.
Well, no, she was trying to click on Yasuo to auto him, but clicked on the ground and kept walking towards him instead of autoing him. Which is why attack champions only, or attack move, is very important.
Oh, he missed that CS in top lane. GG.
Yeah, he's only 60 CS ahead now.
He almost one-shot the whole wave. He missed one. That's the power of Renekton, especially with the Tiamat. If you look at the lead right now, not that we haven't already pointed out, but there's a Black Cleaver Tiamat on Renekton. And
Not
a
only
Ruby Crystal
that, there's
Longsword
also a
on Darius.
5,000 gold lead on Team Tactics compared to Team B.
I agree. 5,000 gold at 11 minutes is
It's really, really.
it's gonna be
a
hard to
lot
come
of
back.
gold.
Jinx and Ziggs, honestly, both scale really hard in the late game though.
And we can't forget about Silas. Like, Silas is a weird champion when you talk about scaling.
You know,
I agree.
regardless, if Silas is still behind, he can still scale up, and he's actually playing a lot better compared to their Outlaw. So
True.
they still have potential to actually come back in this game, play correctly, and if they actually slow it down this time.
But if you look, I like that D vision Jana's getting for bot jungle.
Not
Nope.
only that, Yasuo is still maintaining a 2v1 bot lane.
That's just Yasuo as a champion though.
That is. Sejuani's taking the Rift Herald. Okay, good. Akali got it.
Well, that's what you said, right? So
Yeah.
you don't like to see the jungle getting it?
Exactly.
Well, it kind of does make sense because Six will keep continuing pushing out the lane, so it makes sense that they give it out to Akali so she can secure the mid lane.
And they're using it immediately again.
Yeah.
Without a wave. Alright, so y'all talked about last time that the
Yep,
tower plates
yeah.
are about to leave.
I agree. This. Okay, I
Oh,
don't.
here's the Renekton on the Darius. Will he flash? Oh, nice.
Does he
ult
get it?
On the
Did he
Renekton.
get ignited with bleed? That's close.
No.
But that was a
He
good
ran
fight.
it-
by
Akali's
Darius.
TPing
Ulted
down.
On the very good timing.
Yep. They dropped.
Akali, that TP was a little,
Yep. I think they're just starting to feel
Right,
like
but
they're.
Sejuani's down there. Sejuani's
missed
down there.
ult.
Get the collapse.
oh,
Oh,
that is
that
so
got me,
much.
though. Wow.
And Jana will keep them sustained throughout that entire time. Okay, but seriously, what was that Akali TP? You TP'd like half the river.
Yeah, that was. I
Unnecessary.
feel like they're just a little too confident right now. And if they weren't this far, see, there it is again, taking 2 shower shots on the Yasuo. If they weren't this far ahead, then those plays would have actually been really bad.
I'll say, like, using the Rift Herald to get one plate, not 2, but 1 plate, isn't
If
working
you
then.
know, right there, if they had held it, that tower would have
Honestly,
been
if they
gone.
would have held it and yes, exactly. If they would have held it and used it bot tying, they could have actually potentially had 2 towers. Honestly, they
Yep.
had 4 champions on bot side. Use Herald, they could have actually had 2 towers potentially.
I agree.
Exactly. Like, this is what I was trying to say last time, was like, saving that Herald, using it for just a plate, or 2 plates isn't worth anything in the long run.
If it's at 13 minutes and
But you see,
45
the last
seconds,
game was a little
I'd agree.
different though, because the plates were about to collapse, so it makes
Right.
sense that they released it at that moment in time, because they still managed to get 2 plays before they collapsed compared to last game. So, but this game it's a little different.
I dispute that, but we'll just move on to the next point. Next point is being Mountain Drake's coming up.
Oh,
Talk
the
about
Akali though, the Akali.
ooh.
Going into that, I guess she has the backup. Never mind. Here comes another dive out of top lane.
Nautilus is just caught out.
Got caught out.
He got caught out. There's no vision.
This one.
He's walking with no vision.
He hasn't opted to get sweeper yet either. No one on the team has it, so they're walking across the wards nonstop. Solid's is heading up top to deal with Renekton, but he's 4 levels behind. Renekton's got to deal with you.
There's no tower left. Renekton can literally walk up, one-shot the tower, and
So
Yeah,
one good
or
point
one
that I
shot
would like to
Silas,
put out-
like-
Yeah,
guess
that's my
never mind.
point. That was my point.
I would have autoed the tower first, but it looks like you didn't have to.
One good point to point out is that Qiyana actually has 24 vision score compared to the 6 on Nautilus.
Wow.
Nautilus has 2 wards still in his inventory. He hasn't placed either of them.
Not only that, he hasn't swapped it out to his sweeper.
That's the point I made earlier. He's just not using it.
On top of that, he already has completed his quest on his gold item.
Hmm?
That's a very good flash for the Jinx on just voiding that ult.
Absolutely, she would have been dead.
Ooh, lots of ooh.
Oh, the Akali. This is what I was talking about. Akali being a good assassin.
Yeah, but she is going to be fine.
Now she's out. Wow.
I mean, that's what happens when.
Qiyana.
I mean, she was surviving that anyways. The John Shield didn't block anything. But
Not then, but how much did she block while she was under tower?
I have no idea.
11,000 gold lead. This is a really, really huge gap in gold lead right here that I'm seeing, boys.
Renekton's coming up on this Darius. Darius has no vision. Oh no, he has the paint ward.
He has a control ward. He does
Yeah.
have a control ward.
But I think it's a little too late. Because Yasuo's coming up lane with Renekton just sitting there waiting.
You see right here, if I was that Darius and I had TP, I would have used that to get out.
Absolutely.
Unfortunately,
Like I
it's
said
not.
earlier, that's the problem if you get behind in lane. and you
Honestly,
don't have
Very
TP,
true.
you
At this
know
point,
you-
just execute. Try to go for it.
True. He's gonna try and back. Nope, that's the wrong call. They know where you are. You didn't walk past that minion wave right there. Yeah, he should just walk straight underneath the tower.
Exactly. Just execute at this point. There's no reason to keep continuing dying, giving out free gold.
Exactly. If nothing else, maybe you force the Sejuani to flash to get the kill on you. Which in that case, you just gave a little bit of gold because you're already 0-3. You gave a little bit of gold over for a flash. Rather than just die in the bush. I will say, I will say, we have not given.
Zig steal that? That's 2 objectives stolen with a Zig ult. Just throwing that out there.
That was literally what I was about to say. This Zid has been amazing.
Oh,
Hey, there it is. Alright. Good shutdown.
Oh, got hit by the Sejuani ult though. Oh, great flash get out.
Good flash. Here's the Darius. Are they gonna counter engage?
I don't think so. Nautilus is low.
They actually had the chance to. Honestly, the 6 was still alive. He has free poke.
Yeah, but that Yasuo is huge.
This is very true, but they also wasn't dead, essentially.
There we go. Another good shutdown by Team B.
So this is a good shutdowns by Team B, but at the same token, a lot of sloppiness and cockiness is coming in from Team Tactics.
Oh, I agree. They know they're ahead and they're
When you know
definitely
you're
playing.
ahead, there's definitely still precautions you should take. Definitely not giving the bounty to the enemy team so they can come back.
I mean, the plays dropping the Ritual mid, just taking tower shots for no reason, fighting bot in weird ways. All of it's just like TPing literally 20 feet. All of it's just like it's mistakes that will add up. And if you weren't so far ahead, even if this was even a higher elo game, even if you're this far ahead, with making mistakes like that will lose you the game.
Yeah.
They
Another
will
thing you're
definitely
talking
lose
about
you the
before.
game, but they're actually a lot more punishable.
That's what I'm
Teams
saying.
like teams like Team B that haven't been playing with each other compared to teams that actually have been playing with each other, like Team Tactics, would have punished them for those small mistakes.
So if this was a platter up game, those mistakes would be damn punished very quickly. Ooh, lots
That
of
swift
damage.
poke.
Said he scales. He has the Ludens and Oblivion Orb. He doesn't have any boots though, which I think he should probably start working on.
Most definitely, he's really prone to getting caught out. On top of that, he doesn't have flash.
Has
Right.
he
He
been?
does have his bomb to knock himself away, but that's not a lot against Renekton and Sejuani.
I do like that the Six has more CFs than the Akali still at this point.
On that note, okay, I'm looking at his items, his gold. What has he been spending his gold on?
Who?
Sid's, because he has over 6,000. Oblivion Orb plus Ludens,
Oblivion Orb
that's
16. Ludens is
32. So we're looking at
32,
48.
so that's 48.
So right now he should be carrying gold.
He has 800. He should have.
So that's only 400 gold gone. If he's bought any control wards and
Speaking
I
of,
don't know, there's still a little bit.
all right,
Too early.
yeah. Sejuani has her smite this time, so she was not gonna let that go.
Yep.
But meanwhile, Akali's is bought with the
A little
Baron.
fair point on that smite comment. Sejuani actually did have smite for that dragon. She just smited a little bit early.
Which she had smite for that. She just smite early.
She did have smite for that dragon, but she panicked smited and smited a little too early. That's what gave the Six and the steal because he was the one that got the last hit.
Just a little bit more. Akali TP in top, trying to push his wave, and Darius is there to meet her.
I do like all the vision that Team Tactic has beyond the river. They have all the vision on the Baron, but they also are forcing vision on
Ooh,
the enemy.
pulling her under tower.
Can't fight her in the Baron.
No.
Wave Darius.
Not only that, she used her E to dodge the Darius Q.
Yeah. He has no MR. She does have a Seekers. Yeah, it's just a bad fight. Even though they were the same level.
It's a bad fight. She's already ahead from all the team build that they have accumulated together, and then Darius only has one kill. Regardless if it was a shutdown on the Renekton, it's still a huge gap on gold between those two champions.
Qiyana's still hitting those tornadoes though.
Speaking of ahead, this Yasuo's 8-0 and has a 20 CS lead over Jeans.
Not only that, the Janna still hasn't died. 1-0-11.
Bot lane.
Stacks on Darkseal. When she get Energize. I'd like to see it. I want to know is where's the.
Ooh, nice knockup.
Oh, that hook would have landed on that Janna.
Would have probably been a kill, except there was no one except Darius there to really follow up on it. And Sejuani was there to protect.
Well, Silas was right behind him.
Yeah, but Sejuani was there to peel for her too. Ooh, you also don't need a tower. Ooh, flashing out from the Zid's ult. Good job.
Oh, the Yasuo dies. Nice.
Another shutdown for Darius, but he just pulled Akali right into Ziggs.
Yes, indeed. I was going to say that.
Jane's flashing away, get out of this fight.
That was a really bad flash, but Darius pulling in Akali to the 6.
I agree. I mean, let's talk about the fact that Yasuo just ulted under tower to do a 4-man ult.
Right.
For a 4-man ult, that's worth. Honestly,
he did.
This far ahead, you can afford to lose Yasuo.
If you
He,
can get
He
this
was
inhibs,
8-0.
it already makes it worth enough. They got 2 towers, 2 inhibs,
yeah,
4-man ult is very worth despite his bounty being given up.
he did over 1,000 gold, but
It also went to the Darius, not to the Jinx or the Ziggs who really needed it.
very true.
Exactly. They should have very. That's a very good point. They honestly should have given that gold to the Jinx or the
It would have been
Fizz.
impossible to give it. Darius had bleed and he died to tower, so
It's
the
true.
bleed was going to be the last thing to hit.
But just imagine if that gold went to Six, who's already starting to
Oh, I
scale in.
agree.
You
Once
know,
again, he finished Morello and has not bought boots yet.
but see, y'all both missed my point though. I wasn't talking about it being the validity or it being worth. I was talking about the fact that he just did it. He's pulled the trigger. He went. He went under that tower. He was like, "No, I got this 4-man knockup. I'm ulting y'all. Let's go. Let's fight." And he started that fight for his entire team. That
I agree. That was
Well, to
one
be
of their
fair,
best
they're already
engages,
this ahead.
honestly.
Why not? You know, they're already this ahead. Why not? Simply, why not? There's pretty much like minimal things that they can lose, even if Yasuo fails to kill anybody with that engage. They still have so much pressure on both sides, up top and mid. So why not just engage fight?
we're seeing Cloud Drake coming out. That's actually really good for their team. Allows them to rotate to each lane even faster.
Not
People,
only that, Janet just turns into Sonic.
people underestimate
Sonic
Cloud
already.
Drake.
Cloud Drake is the best Drake.
People underestimate it, especially in team play. It's just so good.
Okay. Got Silas taking the Akali ult. I feel like at this point that was.
He also ulted on the tower again.
That could have been a 3-man. I think he gets out this time though.
He does, but meanwhile, Jinx does not. Jinx is dead here. The entire team is dead here.
Yep.
They did not lose a single guy,
I'm
not a
gonna
single
say
person.
They can just walk down.
Right here.
Yeah.
They just run it down right here.
They don't even need to kill this inhibitor, but why not for style points?
Gotta get those damage to objective stats, you know. Another solid game. 28-4 though.
Team Blue came back a little bit more. Zid's honestly was a great pick. He was
I
being
like the
amazing.
6 picks. I like that even though he had a rough game the first game, Silas did ended up coming up back. Even though the score doesn't show, his gameplay still was better.
I
So I do
agree.
like that he came with a vengeance, so to say, like a chip on his shoulder. Even though it still didn't work out, they still showed life. They didn't show like they wanted to quit or give up, sort of say. So they still ended up trying, and I do like that. But there's still times where they tried to do too much to come back. They forced fights. The Darius especially, I can feel like he was a little tilted. He tried to fight like the Akali, and the Renekton again over and over, but still failing and dying, giving up more gold and pressure top. So honestly, it's about just coming. They really need to know how to slow down the game for their advantage.
Zid's only doing less than 1,000 damage. A
And he
thousand
was
damage
very
less.
close to most damage in the game.
Yep. You're also doing the most with 15k, but Zid's not far behind with 14. Like, honestly, this is very impressive. Zid's has a lot of AoE, so that's where a lot of it came from, a lot of poke, but the fact is, it's very impressive considering how far behind his team was.
Not only that, but the fact that Nautilus almost had the same amount of damage with the Jinx, that's kind of questionable.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of it, I think, is from Engage, and Jinx isn't able to really do much into the lane with the Yasuo. Look at this vision.
His
Again,
vision score is a lot of 20s. The Renekton was just one short from 20 vision score. But see, I do like that Darius does have a higher vision score than Renekton, but the same token, it was just not enough.
um,
Control wards purchased, so the Darius ended up purchasing 4 control wards.
which is very good. Honestly, 2 is kind of like the minimum of what I also deem as set. Well, I would prefer at least 3 per game because that means that because chances are the way you place down control wards is guaranteed almost entirely, especially for the side laners. You almost always have a control ward in the tri bush.
So I'm gonna interrupt you right here. There's 2 things I want to point out on this vision score. So Akali and Jinx did not purchase a control ward.
Yep,
Akali,
I've seen that.
considering that she's playing an assassin, she definitely could buy a control ward so she can
Or at the
clear
very least,
her
a sweeper.
path to anybody, to a
Especially
secure and kill.
if
Especially
you were
Jinx when she's coming back, when she keeps constantly getting ganked on the bot side, definitely help out your support and place down a control ward.
absolutely. I don't know if you guys were noticing, but there was a couple points where Akali was waiting for Silas in the jungle too, and didn't have a sweeper or a control ward. She could have just been sitting there for absolutely no reason because they had a ward in it and knew she was there.
Exactly.
There was a
If you're
couple
gonna
times they
try,
were.
I'd say if you're gonna try and play from that far ahead and catch someone out in the jungle, you have to know that they don't know where you're at.
All right. On the point again, like 2 to 3 is my minimum for a good game because you're almost always gonna have one, especially as Silencers, in those bushes next to your lane. You're almost always gonna have one. So that should be one control word minimum. Then you're probably gonna have to move that up later on when you're probably pushing or off to the side. Maybe you want to guarantee a dragon or something. So that's 2. And 3 is just how often do you get caught out as AAC? Just due to lack
You're
of vision.
very you're
I
very prone to getting caught out as an ADC, especially if anybody sees you in the bot lane farming by yourself.
And that's where
especially
that
with a
third
team
controller
like
comes in.
Renekton, Akali, and Yasuo, like they're begging to find ADC by
And
themselves.
Sejuani. Sejuani too. Sejuani's
True.
really good at picking someone out. She has actually a pretty decent amount of damage. She can outdo most ADCs until they get some couple items.
That is true.
All right, so I want to get a member of each team into this call, and I want to talk to them. Light, I'm assuming you can get someone from your team.
Absolutely. I think I'm gonna get us the top laner. I think that was a big priority for both games, so
All
I'd
right,
like to get him in here and see what's up.
I'm going to try to add the. Let's add the Zids.
All right, I'm gonna leave this call for a second, but I'll be right back with our top laner.
Alrighty.
So Red, my question to you, what advice do you give to this team tactics to improve on the small little mistakes that they could actually pay their due diligence in a higher elo game?
Don't get overconfident. It doesn't matter how far ahead you are or anything. If giving gold or making mistakes like that allows the enemy team to come back. If you want to win a game, guaranteed every time. If when you're ahead, take that lead to its utmost extreme. Strangle them of everything. Don't give them any opportunities.
Most definitely, especially with the overconfidence part, you never want to give the enemy team the gold that you already have accumulated as a bounty. That's just one way to give the enemy team one step to get back into the game.
All right, I'm back. So top laner's not gonna make it to this one because I guess he had to go walk his dogs or something. But I'm gonna pull the jungle in because that first game, jungle just had a lot of priority.
Oh, most definitely. That moment was just all over the map. He was just out jungling the Olaf. Even though I still question the Olaf from this to this moment.
I'm trying to get someone from the enemy team as well. All right. So Sivart, you're in here right now, right? All right.
Yeah,
I
hold on. Let me pause the stream. I'm here, Neko. Okay, go for it.
all right. There's a couple questions we need to ask. First off, in both games, when did y'all feel you had control of the entire game?
The entire game?
Like when did y'all think the game was going in your favor? Like it felt like okay, this is our game. We're winning this right here now.
Personally, I don't. God, I'm sorry. I'm kind of bad when I'm put on the spot like this.
You're
Personally,
good.
I don't. I feel like it's when it comes to that first dragon, that first big team fight that the entire team's trying to go for. It was uncontested, if I remember right, in the first game
Yep.
or one of the two games. And just
Both
not
actually.
having that contest and then going straight into that Rift Herald so we can get the platings there. That was another uncontested moment. Just having the objectives not being contested kind of gave me a feel that we were going to have control of this game. The
So my
scuttles,
question,
I only saw that very first where I almost died on Sejuani, or I think I did die on Sejuani. I think that was one of
Yeah,
the
you
few
got
scuttle
ignited by the
contests that I had.
Nautilus there.
so I have a question for you coming back to the Rift Heralds. So the first one, the first game, I don't question the Rift Herald. You know, time was expiring, the plates were gonna fall, so I don't blame you for trying to get that extra goal for your team or for the champions that were upstairs.
I do.
But the
Stop
one
that.
that have questions about is the second game, the one that you prematurely put it down on the mid lane. When
Yeah,
we saw 4 champions on the bot side and you could have potentially got 2 towers on bot side and had more pressure. What was the deal there? Why did we put it down mid and not bot?
we were slow to react on that one. I'll admit. We were focused on getting that Rift Herald, and just since top laner was already low on plates, we were just single-mindedly tunneling on that mid turret since it was the closest to lane. We immediately recognized after we had to abandon that Herald to head down there that it was a missed call and we should have held on to it.
All right, I'm gonna
And
have to go ahead and like pause everyone here. I'm just saying everyone to continue this conversation, but I'm just saying everyone to link to a server so for these interviews. Just that way we can get everyone in on this.
Okay.
But go ahead and continue.
who was talking?
You were talking.
Um,
You were
so we
explaining.
had to abandon that Rift Herald because we saw that there was a bunch of commotion going on down bot side, and we had to run down there and try to join in on that, or at least kind of help our bot out because if I'm not mistaken, the Silas was down there, so we had to worry about their jungler coming in.
All right, everyone, let's move to the general interview chat.
Okay.
All right, welcome equal.
What's up, man?
All right, we're waiting for a server. Okay, now
My question is, who's equal?
he is
I
the
am
Zids.
Who's the
Ziggs. Oh my
Sigs?
god, those bombs. I beat myself up over that first dragon. Congratulations on that steal.
That was
I
a
think
beautiful
I'm
steal.
pretty sure I ulted instead of smiting. I don't know what I did there.
The only reason that I just chucked an ult over there, we had no vision.
Let's say
right?
that's the part I loved about the most. You don't even see it.
But I figured the timing was about right because we were like what level 6, 7, not really too high, and I was just like, I'll just toss one over there before I back, and I got it, and I was like, well, I'm pretty sure this game's already chalked anyways because the people we're playing against, I gotta give props to you guys. You guys have a lot of experience. You guys have probably played together for more than a month, clearly.
So
Yeah.
to break it through to you, these guys have actually been playing with each other for almost a year, if not more than a year. So that's kind of like a given to see them excel that far or even that much compared to a team that's barely been assembled in just a couple weeks. So
And in our defense, I'm not trying to make an excuse, but it also comes down, to team play. We've been sitting with a second ADC. We haven't really been able to practice a full squad because our ADC has been substituted out the first 2 games. Like I said, not an excuse, but
No, it
No,
does
but
make a
it's a
difference. That
hindrance.
absolutely makes a difference having subs. I mean,
and it,
not
it
when I
also
subbed for them guys, but
it also doesn't help that during the week we don't get together and try to practice some.
Honestly,
Get some
that's
synergy going.
throughout the entire time. My advice to y'all's team was just try to get together and work together because that's where y'all are lacking the most. Isn't any like mechanical skill or anything like that. It's the fact that y'all have no synergy with each other compared to a team like this.
And like I said, I gotta give it props to him, but thanks thanks for the first drag, I guess.
I'm not gonna lie, I was happy to when you ult stole the red buff over the dragon. But...
oh man, no, because he's like, yeah, Sivir and this other person are over here trying to steal my red buff, and he's like screaming in my ear, and I'm just like, all right, here comes an ult.
I mean, it worked. I was
Ziggs ult
impressed. I was
MVP.
more hype over that.
And then for the follow up kill, so I can go finish my Luden's Echo and start my I call it the Malamalamacon because you can't really pronounce it correctly.
Yeah, sure.
I just call them Morellos.
Yeah. Well, I started that after that kill. I was like, yeah,
So
consolation kill for the
I do
loss.
have a question for you, Equal.
What's up?
So you bought the Ludens and Morello during that. But against a Sejuani, Renekton, Akali, you never bought boots that second game.
That was my question.
Yeah.
What
I
was
wasn't
that process?
fat. I wasn't okay. So I went first item Ludens and didn't buy my boots because it's part of the IGL in our essentially our top lane. Dunker, I believe, who was playing top,
Right.
and it's he was like, "Well, don't go for boots. We want more damage early." And I'm like, because I have a build path. I usually go Ludens, and then I build all of my boots. I usually go for Sorcerer's boots
The
on
Sword Boots
Ziggs,
is more damage anyway. It's this Magic Pen.
Exactly.
and I'm listening, and what ended up happening is I think an Akali ult in between our towers when you guys had already taken mid tier 3
Okay.
ended up I ended up getting caught out, and then everybody just fell, and then we were just scrambling at that point.
All right.
So my advice to you guys, even though Dunker has a personal build path, is don't disregard the mobility that you can get, because that mobility can either save you or kill you.
Especially
Like,
in a
for
team like
example,
that.
yes, especially against a bunch of champions that have a lot of gap closers and especially a lot of mobility. You definitely want to have your own mobility to get away. Regardless, I'm not saying don't listen to them, but also put your input and say, but they have a lot of mobility, they have a lot of gap closers. I want to get out or keep the distance for for to keep from stopping them from engaging on me. Like, you were actually the one that was putting the more DPS out there for your team.
So
I was
you had the second most damage in the game. You're only 1,000 behind the also.
Yeah,
I'm not
I was
shocked.
looking at the damage charts, and I was like, I was looking at our top laner, and I was like, could use a little more there, but I
He's
I don't
back.
know. I don't know what the
I
fuck
like
he's
to keep
having.
a positive vibe all the time.
I don't know what the fuck he's having. But
Um,
so it's just to finish, just to summarize everything what I was saying. Just you were pretty much the main source of damage in your team, and I just personally would have liked to see boots from you.
Gotcha.
all right. I already asked Civitar this, but where did you feel that that game started to go just ball out of control? It just felt like y'all didn't really have that much control over it anymore.
Yasuo triple bot lane.
All right, fair enough.
That was probably when I say we lost it right there. Because I wasn't in a position to follow up with anything. I think that was shortly after drag. Actually, the first drag I stole. I think I
Yep.
made the Yasuo a little mad. He went and got a triple kill.
So see, this I actually really like asking these questions, especially when both people are in call, because
Mm-hmm.
you're able to see when both teams think they got ahead, and funnily enough, y'all both thought the same thing. That dragon
Well,
fight right afterwards.
I I like to say that I'm knowledgeable, but I'm just a bronze, so I don't really have anywhere. I've been hard stuck bronze for a month now,
I don't
and
don't don't put yourself down, man.
but it's I feel like I can I understand the game, and I can play. I main support, so I'm doing this to improve, in other roles, and I'm trying to help our support out. And then I see him get tripled, and I'm just like, oh man,
All right,
gotta get out of here.
Civitar. I have to ask how that first game as a Mumu.
Okay.
What was going through your head there? Because you were out jungling the Olaf, something that shouldn't be happening. You were out jungling and out tanking. What
I
was?
was. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I just want to know what's going on in comms at that point, because you're this far ahead of the Olaf as an Amumu of all things. The enemy team's behind. What are you trying to make happen? Because I saw you trying to force a lot of objectives. You got the dragons, got all
Uh,
that.
we honestly, at no point in our comms were we relaxing because we were ahead. We were playing our game. We had our focus on the scuttles and all the objectives. We try to make sure we had the side waves pushed, the side and mid pushed up for if I'm going for top side or bot side. We just wanted to make sure we had complete control of those objectives. And then we also were trying to get wave controls. If anyone is pushing up on the enemy team, we were calling out ganks, and I would be heading in that direction if I was in that side of the jungle. And we played our game. That was it.
Okay. It seems the top laner wants to get in on this, so
Oh, sure. I'll back out.
no, you're good. You're good. Dunter wants to get in on this.
Dunker does.
Yeah,
Oh,
he's.
Dunker.
Oh, you want me to send him an invite?
I already have done that. He's he can join whenever. The whole point of all these interviews is just I want to get everyone's thought process on everything that's happened, because hearing what y'all were actually thinking about in these games, what y'all were going for, what was going on in the team comps, is more important than anything else that we can say, because y'all's thoughts on what's going on in the games drastically change everything. Because y'all's mindset, how you're feeling, how tilted y'all, how confident you are. Honestly, that's something we need to really address. Savart, your team was way too cocky in that second game.
Yep. Completely agreed.
Like,
So
I
on top of that note, I saw a lot of like sloppiness, so to say, with your cockiness. So I saw a bunch of tower shots that y'all ate up on the bot lane, and also when y'all dove. The first, I mean, when you dove on the on their fountain side, on their base, I don't pretty much question it. You already ahead. Why not engage already? You already this ahead, so I don't blame you for doing that. But I'm talking about when we were still in lanes. You guys took too many tower shots, even though y'all were ahead, and that still could have been punished with a better, with a more skilled team compared to this team. So in my opinion is don't get too overconfident, because overconfidence can lead to a lot more mistakes than just regular tower shots.
mean, I saw Akali TP at the river.
Yeah. I'm actually talking to Mira about that right now. So
Um, yeah, I really don't have much to say to that. We did get a bit overconfident in that second game. Um, there's no excuse for that kind of play, and we'll have to clean it up for the next week.
Right, Dunter, you want in on this? I'm assuming you have your own opinions to drop. Go ahead and drop on us.
He's
'Cause
muted.
Yo, okay. So, that was crazy. Like for the shift in dynamic between the two teams from like last week and this week was massive. Like I couldn't even like compete with the top laner. In game one, I thought I played incredibly well as Yasuo. The only trade-off is that Colette is a horrible matchup, and I always ban him in solo queue. But like I knew that the Darius ban and the Renekton would probably come up, and we needed to ban Akali for the mid laner, because our mid laner was like potentially like worried about the Akali matchup, and like we had to like kind of like smooth it out. But all in all, like I think my play was like super sloppy, and I was like looking for opinion as well as like tips for trying to come back from a game like that, especially with that Renekton being so fed. I couldn't even stop that snowball like for my life.
Well, tips. It's really hard to give a tip in terms of that, because there's no all round band aid to fix this.
Right.
A lot of it came down to the fact is y'all's team needs more practice together, because y'all didn't have a lot of synergy together. How was the communication in y'all's comms? Were y'all constantly talking about, hey, they're here, we see a vision here, we need vision here, we don't have it here, we need to be doing this, okay, they're on this right now, what can we be taking in return? Was there any type of talk like that going on?
So I know there was definitely talk like that from me and the support. We definitely have that audible, like if we see somebody on the map, we even ping it. We don't even just say it, we ping it too. If we can't ping it fast enough, we just yell it.
Okay.
For example, like when Renekton, actually a better example, when Kled came from top lane through the river and then to mid lane, I was
Okay.
like audible, Kled's not here, Kled's not here, Kled's not top, guys. Watch out for the Kled ult, watch out for the Kled ult. And then like they were on the Rift Herald, but we decided to transition to saying we were in the Rift Herald when we saw their mid laner rotate towards the Rift Herald. And it just never even occurred to me. Like, that's just like my downfall at skill. It just never even occurred to me that they were going to go for the Rift Trail. I didn't even ward it. Like,
All right.
it was definitely a lack of practice for sure.
Well, then honestly, there's the fits right there more than anything. Is because right now, as a team, you're facing another team. First off, we're not even talking about the fact that the actual rank differences between the two teams was highly in favor of Daikon.
Yeah.
In terms of golds versus silvers and silvers and bronze. We're not even going to refer to that. We're just not talking about the actual synergy in the teams themselves. Your team doesn't have much practice together, correct?
Correct. We actually haven't practiced together at all. Literally not even once.
Well, there's
Our
your
only practice was the last game.
set out a day, or at least try to set out a day that you can set maybe an hour, 2 hours to just play normals, if nothing else. As a 5-man normal group, work together, make a comp, talk about, hey, okay, I play these champions, you play this champion, we play this champion. How can we find the champions we play into an actual comp? Because second game, I didn't see much of a comp going on. It was simple champions. They were champions that I think y'all were at play, but there's no synergy between the champions, nor among each other.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. The like another like gleaming flaw with us having a practice schedule is that our ADC has not been present for either game. We've subbed our ADC twice.
Okay.
We don't know what's going on with him. He doesn't say anything to us about anything. Like after the first game, we told him we won like decisively, and he's like, "Yo, I want to be part of this. I want to play with you guys," and then nothing.
That might be something to bring up to ESDL if you
I
can't
was
get a
gonna
hold of
say
him now.
if you can't get a hold of him or if he doesn't show up the next couple of days, I would actually bring up one of the ESDL supports, whoever it is on your team, and tell him like, hey, we haven't heard from our ADC. We have subbed twice for him. Either can we get a permanent replacement for this, or can we settle this and actually get him online? We don't know what's going on. We would like to actually have practice as a full dedicated team instead of having constant subs.
Because but then having the actual guaranteed permanent ADC is huge. ADC is one of the pivotal roles. I mean, every role is pivotal, but it's one of those roles that you tend to play around. So having AC have synergy with trust in is massive. And if nothing else, at least try to get contact with him and ask him why he hasn't been there. If there's an actual reason, it's one thing. You have to. If he's not able to make it to a game for whatever reason, but for multiple games not showing up and not having a reason as to why, that's something you really need to work on or to get control of real quick.
For sure.
All right.
It's like I don't know. It's tough.
We understand. We've had some issues with subs and permanents and all that on our own
Definitely,
teams.
it'll never be 100% or perfect, but most definitely issues won't be sorted out unless you speak up. You don't definitely want to stay quiet with these kind of situations because in the end you are putting your own money into this and you want to get the most out of it.
Right.
All right, so I'm gonna ask real quick since you're in call with me right now. Is there a name y'all want to go by when I label this on YouTube and create a thumbnail for all this? Just otherwise, I'm just gonna take some random stuff with the letter B.
I think we agreed on Qiyana Unchained, but like, I'm not 100% sure. I think that's what you should put it as because I think that's what they'll look for. But
Keep it.
yeah, we definitely wanted Qiyana Unchained.
All right.
We were laughing so hard in comms, dude. You gotta keep the name.
Okay, I just came up with it on the fly, and then like everyone was like, "Wait a minute, that's sick."
All right.
We're just dying.
I need somebody to help me avenge my dog.
Message me that so I can get the correct spelling and all that. All in all, wonderful games. Everybody honestly played pretty well. The your jungler, I need to ask about the Olaf. I think y'all need to go watch the VOD with him, have him watch it, and see what we were talking about in games. Because there was an issue with that Olaf that first game.
I heard one of my. I actually have a side team, and they were like not in EDSL, but like on the side, and I had them watch it as well. And at the end, he's like, "Why was the Olaf just sitting in the bush at blue?"
Yeah,
And I was
that's big question we had.
There was more questions on that. We the biggest question we had was why did he go full AD with the Conqueror, and why did he choose to not go tank when he gets more out of being full on tank instead of
And then
being
why
squishy.
he had no presence on the game. I don't know if he was
I,
feeling like behind or something, or didn't feel up to it. But don't
that was
fully
another
the
thing.
Olaf if you're not feeling up to it that day is a big mistake.
Um, one of my other friends from who was watching the game, he talked to me. He's like, so what was the plan on going Olaf, who's an early game jungler who has like an amazing jungle invade potential, and like not just not doing it, just not doing it at all.
Exactly. That's
And I was like, I wasn't really paying attention to what he was doing because honestly, like I did have my work cut out for me in that first game with the Kled. It was super tough, and I had to just really pay attention to that. But like now that I'm hearing all this stuff, I'm like, yo, we gotta fix that. We gotta fix that.
All right, so
honestly
you've already gotten
the
some.
best
Go ahead.
best advice I can give you is just go ahead and get your team assembled, replay those two games, and just look at all the mistakes and look at all the things that you could have done better.
Let's say,
Most definitely, and on top of that, just for sure try to get your team assembled, get your practices going. Doesn't necessarily have to be practices, just definitely play normal so you can get this energy and start getting the adjusted to playing with each other. Because playing with each other is the biggest key to actually starting your synergy going.
it doesn't matter how good you are individually if you're not working together.
Most definitely.
At the
Elo
end of the
doesn't
day, it
matter.
is a
Most
team
definitely,
game.
it's a team game. So don't put it on a single guy. Everybody has their part in the team. So try to work as a team. And like I said, if somebody's being unresponsive in your team, go ahead and call support, text them, let them know what's going on, and that way issues can be sorted out.
Honestly, like we're saying, go ditch practice, and like I was saying earlier, talk about what champions you play. Like what are your mains, man? Both of you.
My current main, well, my main is obviously Yasuo. Like, I
Okay.
don't know. I heard that there was some feedback on that. I actually would appreciate that feedback so much because I don't actually get enough of that.
You'll get it in the VODs, I promise.
Um, but like Yasuo, I have put a lot of time into, and like my other two picks for top that I like priority pick are Darius and Garen.
Okay. And equal. What about you? What are your mains?
Ziggs, Lux, and Morgana, which my two mains got banned right off the rip. So
All right.
We
True.
only focused that out because we saw that both you and your support played them, and we didn't want to have to deal with flex picks.
That honestly, that was huge because we were talking about in the ban phase. Y'all's first team was so many flex pits. We didn't know who was doing where, and that's honestly pivotal in team play. Is making sure you can go anywhere you want. But think about your mains, how y'all play them, and think about how they work together. Because if y'all can make a comp around what your favorite champions are, multiple comps, make ideas around it, put it on paper, and then try it out in normals. And if it works well, figure out who you want to focus. Maybe you want to focus top. Maybe you want to focus mid. Maybe you want to focus in bot fed. Who knows? But figure out what you want to do, and then just start working at it. Get that practice in, and honestly, I think your team will actually go a lot further.
I appreciate that for sure, 100%.
yeah, I do too.
Honestly,
I will give it to the other team. I'm like literally only main Morgana and Lux. So you really, I'm not gonna say you saved yourself, but you definitely decreased the amount of damage that would have went to your mid lane. I guarantee it.
and Sivar, for you,
Yes,
my
sir.
my thing is, we've already covered it on what your team needs to work on. It's literally just that cockiness. Those little mistakes that are made from thinking you're too far ahead for it to matter. Those are what will throw you behind more than anything. Honestly, if y'all knock out that, watch the VODs together, and we talked about a lot of things that could have been done differently from your side. Watch that, listen to it, and take it to heart.
Okay.
Because that's
For sure.
honestly what will take y'all's team far beyond where you are now. Because y'all have a lot of synergy together, and it's obvious.
Also, side note from my perspective as well. In the second game, like this is not to be in any offense to anybody,
Sure.
but there was like a situation where Renekton dove me and Silas under tower, and all I literally had to do was like W him, and then when he dashed, I pulled him back in.
Yep,
And
that's
luckily, he had the most precise R in his entire life. Like I swear, I've never seen a more precise R in my life.
You
But
talking
like
about when you
that would have
had
been a
his five?
shutdown.
You talking about when he had the 5 stacks? He was fighting on the tower. You had the ignite and you ulted him, and he literally
He
ulted
literally
on the
snap
last
ulted it.
spot.
I know.
saw
It was
that.
crazy.
I saw that, and I was like, "Holy shit, dude! That was so excellent timing." I know what
It
you
was
mean. I
so
remember
good.
honestly
And then my second thing. Sorry. Go ahead.
that goes into what I was saying though, is that overconfidence. Just diving y'all is one of those mistakes. Not having vision of where the jungler is and then making diving someone when it could be a 2v1 is just huge. He got lucky. Then that's the thing. They were so far ahead that it felt it didn't matter. But if they weren't that far ahead, or if y'all's team was even more connected as connected as they are, that would have been so much gold going over to your team for nothing.
Exactly. And then that actually brings up my second point. When Yasuo ulted us under the mid tier 3, and he was by himself completely, like Sedge and Akali were like right there, but he ulted and they had to move to us, and all we did was just CC Yas on the tower, and we just picked up 1,000 gold shutdown for free.
Yeah, he did that without talking to us.
Yeah.
I totally understand as a Yasuo player myself. I totally understand that point of view, but it's important to be in that situation. Just be like, wait a minute, like this is not safe. I should not be diving Darius, Silas, and Jinx and not at the same time.
I will say,
Right.
Dunter, you did get Vor killed or equal killed in that dive because Akali E'd you and you flashed right next to Vor.
Yep.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
Yep.
Okay. Okay, I didn't even see Akali in the corner of my screen until I flashed and saw her come across the turret, and I was like, no way, I'm so sorry.
Hey, I took it for the team, man.
I was so sad after that. I knew, okay.
It's another one of those things we just have to go over and film, like situational awareness.
Yeah.
All right, so y'all all heard from us. We've heard from y'all. You've heard what you need to work on. I'm gonna send the vids to both your teams, one person each, and you can spread around to the rest of y'all.
Okay.
I'm also gonna be sending to Light because Light is
The coach.
Yep.
Yep.
And he's to ream y'all for those mistakes. So good luck with
There's a
that.
lot we gotta talk about. Hope you guys are ready.
Yeah, our Akali needs a lot to learn.
Yeah.
Yeah, the trolley.
No vision. Come on. Doesn't know how to
Dude,
TP.
for sure.
Does not
The
place
no
forward.
vision Akali, that was a big thing, bro. You're playing an assassin. You want to set up to be put in a bush, catch out somebody, and you still didn't buy a control ward at all. That's a big thing. No matter how far ahead or how far behind you are, vision is always key, and control wards are always key.
Absolutely.
All right. So I just want to say, wonderful gameplay. It was great watching y'all. I'm glad that y'all contacted me and asked me to cast this because it was amazing. So I want to say, great gameplay. Thank y'all for coming in. Thank you for coming in for the interview, and we hope to play with you again.
No, thank you so much for casting us and giving us a VOD to review.
Hey, no worries.
We
Yeah, for
really
sure.
appreciate it.
Not only that, it was my first casting, so I appreciate all the feedback that you guys have given us
Same.
and everything. It was fun.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to rewatch this once. Who are you gonna send it to, or are you just gonna post it to? We'll figure that out. Never mind.
I know I'll get it, so
Okay.
I'll make sure everyone gets it on the team.
Okay, so I'll send it to
GG's,
one person and everyone else then.
Yeah.
GG's, guys.
Sounds good.
Perfect. Thanks, man.
Good games. Good luck on the rest
Appreciate
of your
GG, guys.
matches.
You too, guys. GG's.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Goodbye.
Later, guys.
All right, now it's just us, and it's our turn to end the stream. Anything y'all want to say as a parting shot?
Honestly, all I
Too
gotta
late.
say is
All right, this is ESDL.
this was really fun. Fuck you, bro. I'm gonna end it on
Whoa,
a good
language.
night. All right.
Language.
You know what? I don't give a crap. All right.
There you
I
go.
love this.
All right.
All right. I love all of you. Goodbye. Good night.
Yeah. Night, guys.
All right, this was the ESDL team matchup between Qiyana Unchained and Daikon's Tatics. I was a. What he said. I'm a red crayon. This is.
ImpeachedLight.
And Shock.
All right. Have a wonderful day.